Omnipotence means all the power that exists. It is the beginning of life. Life begins when light begins. It is the beginning of sound. Sound begins when light begins. It is the beginning of the generative concentration of light into that state which man calls heat, and its radiation into that which man calls cold. It is the beginning of integration and disintegration of light energy into the appearance and disappearance of that which man calls matter. It is the beginning of the crystallization of light units into that which man calls solids of matter. It is the beginning of integration and disintegration of light energy into the appearance and disappearance of that which man calls mass. It is the beginning of the electromagnetic opposition of the two forces which accumulate and dissipate the universal constant of energy into the periodicities of gravitation, attraction, cohesion, radiation, and repulsion of evolving and devolving mass. It is the beginning of the appearance of form. It is the beginning of the combination of form into the appearance of elements of matter and of compounds of matter into that which man calls growth. It is the beginning of apparent transformation of the infinitely simple into the infinitely complex. It is the beginning of the interrelationship of matter, which man calls the chemistry of matter. It is the beginning of force and the motion of force and the inertia of motion. It is the beginning of time. Time begins with the impulses of universal thinking. It is the beginning of that universal rhythmic swing of the cosmic pendulum toward the apparent intent of unequilibrium, which is the cause of all creating things. It is the beginning of the illusion of separateness into the appearance of many things. There are no separate things, there is but the one thing. Nothing is of itself alone. It is the beginning of the souls of creating things, and of the expression in matter of that which man calls life. The whole of creation is contained in the desire of universal mind to express ideal, form, and rhythm, in accord with immutable law, in endless sequence through endless ages. Beyond this there is no more. All mind is universal, and all mind has all power. The mind of man is universal mind. Man has all power. All power is universally present throughout the entirety of this dimensionless universe. All matter and all creating things are the images of thinking mind. Thinking mind is light, and light is universal. That which is universal is not separable from itself. Omnipotence is therefore universal even to the last corpuscle of the most insignificant atom. All matter is omnipotent. Omnipotent, rather. The universe of matter is breathing its energy in tune with the one breathing, pulsing, living being. Call it what you will, whether it be God or mind or the universal one. The in-breathing, out-breathing impulses of the living, thinking God mind is in absolute equilibrium throughout the universe. They are also simultaneous, but alternately preponderant. Exhalation proceeds in a lesser degree during inhalation, and inhalation continues, but in a lesser degree when exhalation is in preponderance. Also, all motion is simultaneous in its opposition. The opposing motions are merely alternately preponderant. All motion is oscillatory, because of this sequence of preponderance in its opposition, of which much will be written in its proper place. No atom, no man, nor creating thing can disassociate all power from the universal one, or increase or decrease it, or be independent of it, in whole or in part. All power is the thinking power of mind. All the universe of mind and all the universe is thinking in unison. Mind is that universal one thing which man calls God. Mind is the universe. Mind is all. One. Now, this next chapter is called omnipotence. Within the thinking substance of universal mind is all knowledge. The entire substance of mind is knowledge. Knowledge is universal. Man's concept of all knowledge and all intelligence is a wrong concept. To man, knowledge is quantitatively limitless and infinitely complex. Man conceives the boundaries of knowledge and intelligence to be far beyond his comprehension. This is not a true concept. The knowledge and intelligence of universal mind is limited and simple. Knowledge is perception of dimensionless existence, nothing more. Knowledge is an knowledge is an attribute of substance. It belongs to existence and the reality of existence. Knowledge might be likened unto the alphabet. Within the alphabet, it is all knowledge, but until it is put into words and phrases, the alphabet is devoid of idea. Intelligence is an understanding of the reality of existence as it is registered in the illusion of existence. Intelligence belongs to motion and not to substance. It belongs to the appearance of existence and to the unreality of the illusions of existence. Knowledge is passive, inert. It belongs to the equilibrium of unchanging causes. Intelligence might be likened unto the putting together of the alphabet of knowledge into words and phrases of infinite variety of ideal. If the universal one had not a creative thinking mind, he would possess all knowledge but would be without intelligence. Intelligence is the act of thinking creatively, or in other words, the act of putting together the illusions of ideal into the forms of those illusions. Intelligence is active, opposing. It belongs to the opposed motion of changing effects. Changing effects cannot be known. They can only be comprehended. All knowledge of the illusion of existence is limited to perception of causes of that illusion. Causes are unchanging. Causes are existent. Knowledge is limited to that which is existent. Knowledge is limited to that which is existent. Effects are non-existent. They but appear to exist. They are but ideal in transit. All ideal is transitory. The idea of thinking mind is always in motion, and therefore constantly changing. Solids are as changing as the sunset sky. Their difference of motion is but relative. Therefore, man cannot acquire knowledge from changing effects. He can but acquire a comprehension of its complexities. Man can have no knowledge of the sunset sky, for it is but an effect. Man can have knowledge of the cause of a sunset sky, and its effect he can comprehend. Knowledge is simple as cause is simple. Comprehension may be ever so complex. That which man calls knowledge is based upon observed causes and effects of complex facts of matter. There are no unconditioned facts of matter in a universe of motion. There are but appearances of facts. Man concedes that all our knowledge must ultimately repose on conditions which are unproved and unprovable. Facts of form and matter are unprovable in a world of space, time, and motion. Matter as form in motion is but an ever-changing effect of an unchanging substance.